So what good is this piece of paper if Medic 1 can't honor it?
A community watchdog investigation found Unicoi County's EMS provider is violating its contract, taking too long to respond to some calls and failing to adequately staff some shifts.
And the mayor of Irwin calls it a matter of life and death, but Medic 1 CEO calls it a mudslinging campaign.
The town of Irwin is in the process of creating its own ambulance service as a result of Medic 1's shortcomings. Nate Morabito found cases where people died after waiting for an ambulance.
Medic 1's contract with Unicoi County runs until April 2019, guaranteeing 2 fully staffed advanced life support ambulances at all times, plus additional ambulances. The company also agreed to a $150,000 bond guaranteeing its performance. While the county mayor says he regularly speaks with Medic 1 to ensure the service is improving, the counties failed to fully enforce the contract. December 5th, 2017, an Irwin man is pronounced dead after waiting 20 minutes for an ambulance. A report shows police arrived quickly and started CPR, and Medic 1's operation manager arrived in 10 minutes. But an actual ambulance took twice as long. Shouldn't anyone in any city or any county expect an ambulance to get there quicker than 20 minutes?
Yeah, the expectation is there.
Not to me, it's not acceptable.
Irwin Mayor Doris Hensley knows this isn't the only case.
My fear is that we're going to lose, that people are going to die.
A police report shows a Flag Pond man died in January 2017. After an ambulance reportedly took so long to arrive, law enforcement drove the man in a patrol unit to a landing zone so Wings Air Rescue could help with CPR. The report shows it took roughly 35 minutes for a Medic 1 ambulance to show up. Unicoi County's 911 director told us since July, ambulances from surrounding counties have responded to Unicoi County roughly 150 times. But Medic 1 insists those were mostly for non-emergencies and hospital transfers. The company estimates Unicoi County needed help from its neighbors roughly 30 times all of last year for actual emergencies.
It's very frustrating.
Under Mayor Hensley's leadership, Irwin recently secured grant money to create its own ambulance service, convinced the terms of this contract are not a priority for Medic 1.
But we have been promised that they would honor their contract on more than one occasion, and the service keeps deteriorating.
The contract has very clear terms.
Yeah.
Which at times you all are not meeting.
Correct.
So what's the point of a contract if you can't meet the standards?
It's a good guideline to go by, and in the perfect world, it holds you to a standard.
Jimmy Irwin took over as Medic 1's operation manager last February.
I've fixed everything that can be fixed.
Since then, he says he's added new ambulances and new equipment.
One of the things that I can't fix is manpower.
But Irwin says a well-documented paramedic shortage is to blame for the company's inability to properly staff at least 2 advanced life support ambulances at all times.
Maybe once or twice a week, but it's not for full 24 hours or 12 hours, maybe a couple hours here and there.
And extra trucks.
It's not as safe as it should be.
Unicoi County Mayor Greg Lynch knows the area's long, troubled history with past EMS providers.
I mean, you get what you pay for.
And knows Medic 1 is the most financially stable of all of them, and the only company that bid for EMS services in 2015.
Well, they say that they're trying.
He also knows Irwin's recent plans for a town-run EMS service could lead to another option.
I've been kind of waiting on the city to do their thing.
But that delay has allowed Medic 1 to get away with a breach of contract for far too long, according to fellow Mayor Hensley. Can the county not do anything for breach of contract?
Well, we can. We can just give them a 90-day notice and send them on their way.
Mayor Lynch says it's not that simple, though.
The worst case scenario would be that Medic 1 would cut and run.
He told us if the county enforces this contract before Irwin's service is up and running, it will cost taxpayers to cover the gaps in between.
Right now is not a good time for us to be pulling contracts with them.
Back at Medic 1's Unicoi County headquarters. So what good is this piece of paper if Medic 1 can't honor it? The operations manager says this issue is above his head.
I can't answer that.
So we called CEO Jim Reeves at Medic 1 headquarters in Dallas, Texas. It says 2 advanced life-saving ambulances at all times. and your own employee is saying that is not happening. Reeves disputes the companies violated the contract. He told me Unicoi County wants to spend as little as possible and said that funding problem, along with a statewide staffing crisis and routine hospital transports out of the county, all lead to EMS challenges. Adding, the only way ambulance service will work in Unicoi County is through a private-public partnership. He said Irwin's efforts to create its own ambulance service will fail, adding, quote, nobody in that county wants to work together, end quote. Now, the Commission on Accreditation of Ambulance Service, Josh, recommends an 8-minute, 59-second response, 90% of the time for life-threatening emergencies. But that can, of course, vary in rural areas, outside of urban areas. Medic One said it's not unusual for ambulance to take longer in rural settings, adding no matter how long the wait, every person who needed an ambulance last year eventually got one, even if it came from outside the county.
All right, Nate, thank you very much. Now, Irwin's board will meet with Unicoi County leaders tomorrow to discuss the town's proposed ambulance service and the county's possible involvement.